Dipti is back with us today for the Press Review. She's starting, of course, with the mayoral elections in New York, Dipti.
Yeah, that's right. As the New York Times notes, on his last day of campaigning, Zohran Mamdani, the Democratic frontrunner in the New York City mayoral race, crossed the Brooklyn Bridge in a symbolic gesture that a new day is beckoning, possibly, for New York City. The young leftist upstart Zohran Mamdani, of course, dominating the press today. He's running for the Democratic Party. As of now, he is a strong favorite to win the mantle of mayor of America's largest city. Now he stands, if he wins, to be the city's first Muslim mayor, the first mayor of South Asian descent, and its first millennial mayor. He also has the echoes of another young upstart, at least for USA Today. His shoots to stardom like a young Obama, both, of course, oozing with charm. They're very compelling public speakers. And in Mamdani's case, he is very social media savvy. He actually became popular or rose to popularity by posting videos in which he interviewed local New Yorkers like taxi drivers. Like Obama, though, he does share the same weaknesses to, at least at the beginning of Obama's political career, a thin resume. He has held only one full-time job outside of politics and got elected to state assembly as mayor. Mamdani would go from leading a paid staff of 5 people to overseeing a budget of $116 billion and 300,000 workers.
Yeah, incredible figures, aren't they? Indeed, there's a lot of scrutiny, isn't there, on his politics?
Yeah, at least from the point of view of the Washington Post. This is the latest editorial that they had here, entitled Zohran Mamdani's Success is a Warning. Also wondering how a socialist with no governing experience became New York's mayoral frontrunner. The Post also noting that he is poised to become the most radical mayor New York City has seen if he wins. He's also quite a bit of a paradox. Zohran Mamdani was born into wealth, but, I quote, adopted a worldview centered on destroying the economic system that makes the U.S. thrive. He's called, for instance, for higher taxes to fund state-run grocery stores. He wants free childcare, free transportation, and more state power in the housing market. As you can imagine, New York City's business class is certainly in a panic over his tax-the-rich plans as well, not to mention the city's Jewish community, who are very concerned over his long, passionate history of anti-Israel activism. And also, controversies did emerge later in his campaign. Mamdani, there was a picture of Mamdani posing with Uganda's anti-gay laws. Mamdani was born in Uganda. His family also has a luxury house there that's protected by armed guards, which was another point of contention. His tenancy in a rent-stabilized apartment, despite his family's wealth, was also something that his rival Andrew Cuomo picked up on in the debates. Despite his family's wealth and of course, his comments comparing the New York Police Department to the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces.
To the main story here in France today, this major French trial beginning into the concrete maker Lafarge, accused of funding terrorism.
Well, they're actually accused, indeed, of paying the Islamic State group and other jihadists about $3 million, 3 million euros rather, in protection money to continue their operations in their plant in northern Syria during the height of the group's reign in Syria. This was in the 2010s or early 2010s. The firm also pleaded guilty to conspiring to provide support to U.S. designated foreign terrorist organizations in a U.S. trial. This is something that France 24 has picked up on in this article here. If you want to sort of overview of what this trial is about, it's a very useful reference here. In that U.S. trial, Lafarge had to pay nearly $800 million in fines. Now, the French investigative website Mediapart talks about the trial taking place here in France, noting that it's unprecedented. It's a historic trial, one that has never been really, no other company has faced such a trial or such charges in France. Now, while other companies left Syria during the war over a decade ago, Lafarge did everything it could to continue its activities. It evacuated its foreign workers, but it kept its local workers. In this article here by the communist paper L'Humanité, they really very bitter about what they see as a business strategy that preferred cement over humans. And in this article here, they say that the trial is a symbol of a capitalist system that's in its terminal phases. Now, the trial will determine, of course, the culpability of those representatives from Lafarge, but also that of French authorities, because this is an article from the French magazine Le Point, which has interviewed a former worker from Lafarge who says that French intelligence agencies knew what Lafarge was doing and actually benefited from this by using them as a source of information gathering.
Finally, some jubilation for you. This is in India, after the women's cricket team won the World Cup for the first time.
Yeah, for the first time ever. It's quite a surprise, actually. I did not know this. Anyway, the hyperboles are definitely present in the Indian sports papers today. A defining moment, historic women's World Cup triumph, and there's certainly hyperboles that are well deserved the feat that the Indian women's cricket team achieved by beating South Africa in the final of the World Cup. They lifted the cup of their dreams after their incredible victory. As you see here, this is from the Hindustan Times. It's also garnered quite a bit of attention outside of India. This is from the New York Times, which says that this win is a big moment for India. This writer here saying it had been the highest glass ceiling in Indian sports. Cricket is watched by almost every household in the 1.4 billion strong population of India. The sport generates millions in revenue, and cricketers are idolized, given godlike status. Up to now, though, it had been mostly reserved for male cricketers. Now, 4 decades ago, the men's cricket team won the World Cup, and it galvanized men's cricket in the country. Here's hoping that the women's victory can do the same to women's cricket and women's sport in India.
I'm sure it will. Congratulations to them, of course. Dipsy, thanks a lot.